Hello and welcome back to Primary Teacher with Dom. So, my studio wasn't done correctly. I'm happy that a few people found my last video really helpful. I did that for you guys to help, and the person on Instagram who did message me, and it did help them, so I'm very happy. If you are going through, if you are struggling with your PGCE, because it does happen, because it is something, just can't get the studio right today. It is something that is quite difficult. You know, please do message me if you feel the need. Email me, send me a message on Instagram. We'll get back to you eventually. Some days I just can't because I'm just so tired because I just started school and I'm back. So, yeah. If you are on your PGCE currently, I hope you're having a good time. I hope everything's going well. If you're in your NQT, I hope everything, your first week back was great. Let's get on to the subject of this video. What to expect on your second placement. I did what to expect on your first placement like months ago, and I never followed that up, and I think it was a video, I'll try and link it above, and it was about, and I'll put it in the description below, when I was in a hotel drinking Galaxy hot chocolate. Let's discuss the second one. So my second placement, I think it started in February time. The second placement, I was then put into year 5. So it was a stark contrast really from year 1 to year 5. I was so nervous about teaching year 5 because in year 1 I just kind of got used to teaching there. Going into year 5 I was like, oh my goodness me, new school. I wasn't with my friend anymore, so I was by myself this time. And I was like, and I had to travel on the motorway. Like, I had to travel on the motorway for a long period of time to get there. But I eventually got there and I eventually knew my way. This placement was 5 weeks. And this was the one I was pretty much nervous about because this is where they started to grade you. Grade, 1, 2, 3 and fail. I think grade 1 is where you're outstanding. Grade 2 is when you're good. 3 is where you're passing. Also, you're pretty much settled in all those. And grade 4 is when you're failing. So this was the period where it kind of mattered but didn't. In that kind of way. Literally, he said I had a male teacher who was my tutor, and then my link tutor was also in year 5. They made me do teach all day Monday, teach all day Tuesday, and teach half day on Wednesday. So essentially I had to plan English, maths, PE, which was very easy because I did Taekwondo as my PE session. So I did Taekwondo when I was younger for many, many years, and I became black belt in it. So now they did PE and they were like, Dominic, what do you want to do in PE? And I said, well, can I do Taekwondo? So I taught all year 5, Taekwondo. And that's what they graded me on in my PE session. And I did quite well because it was effortless. I didn't need to plan it. I really knew what I wanted to do. It was something new that they all loved and it was fun. From year 1 going into year 5, it was difficult because you got to be much more knowledge aware, so you got to have much more knowledge because children, they just at that age they just know too much and they want to know a lot. And on top of that, you got to make sure that you're challenging them and that you're differentiating your tasks. So I started year 5 quite well. The TAs adapted to me really well, and that was one of my kind of issues when I was in in my other school in year 1, that I didn't gel too well with the TA there. At the time, I just thought that that we just didn't gel well. So going into year 5, going into a new school, I was a bit apprehensive about that, and it worked. I was like, woo! I got there, and the TAs were great, amazing, and the children warmed to me quite well. It was 5 weeks, and I got assessed 3 times in that 5 weeks. So when you go in, they literally tell you, okay, you're here for 5 weeks. This is what we expect. I got a whole folder. I had to fill out all these forms because it's an academy and they're quite strict with things. And I had to come in at 8:30. Now, let me tell you, my placement for the second placement that I had was so much more relaxed than my first placement than in year 1. My tutor was like, look, Dominic, you're on your PGCE. Don't worry too much. Don't stay. When the children gone, just go home. If you need to mark, but don't stay too long. Don't take things home. Sit back and relax. Come in at 8:30. Make sure, but you do have to make sure everything's planned, of course. But go home, relax. You're in a PGCE. There's many more things you need to worry about. And I was like, well, thanks. So that's why when I said in one of my videos, NQT versus PGC, I had a more relaxed time. I observed in maths, English, and then English for my big finale. The reason I was observed in English twice is because she saw my lesson in English and she said, my voice. Is it? I think it's my teeth, you know. My teeth are just not together, but I'll get them together soon. She said that she saw great potential, but there was little things that were stopping it becoming that outstanding lesson. So she said to me, refine that lesson, refine it, and I'm going to observe you in 2 days on that same lesson. So then I rejigged the lesson, I went back and I looked at the points that she said I needed to do. And then she looked at it and she said to me, no lie, no joke, not trying to blow my own horn, but she said that out of all the PGC students she's mentored for like 10, 15 years, that is one of the best lessons she's ever seen from a PGC student. I was like, I was like, okay, thanks. It was really good because I really worked for that. I wish I had my lesson plans, actually. I think it's all on my USB. Let's talk about the positives. The positive second placement is that you're going in, I know some people have it for 3 weeks in some universities or 2 weeks. Is that contrasting placement? So is that placement that takes you away from where you are? So if you have ticked off the box where you're just early years, you'll go from probably somewhere like reception and you'll go to year 2. If you've ticked or you want to do the whole primary course from reception all the way up into year 6, you will probably get, if you started in year 6, you might get a year 2 placement. Or if you started in year 1, you might get a year 4 or 5 placement, depending. Or the other one is if you pick the higher primary, you might be in year 6 and then get year 4, or you might have started in year 4 and get year 6, so either or. It's that placement where they actually test you now, so this is where you get graded. It doesn't necessarily go towards that big final where it tells you whether you passed or failed your whole PGCE, but it's very important. This progresses you onto your last placement. Now, I don't know if it's changed, but from when I did it a year ago, if you didn't pass placement 2, you couldn't go on to your final placement that would officially give you your QTS. You needed to pass that placement before you got on, so that's when it was really nerve-wracking. Positives is that you're moving away from your first placement. So if it didn't really go well in your first placement, which is your tester, you were able to prove yourself in the second one in a different school that didn't know you. Another positive is that it's a change of scenery. You are now able to go, and they choose for secondary as well, because I know one of the person I talked to, he's going into an all-girls school, secondary school. The different age range in primary now, so you've got to think on your feet a bit more. If you started in year 6, you've got to bring it way down for your year 1s, because your year 1s are definitely not going to know how to do long division. So, or talking, or have large vocabulary. They've got to have a more simplistic approach to learning rather than your year 6, which need to be more independent. Different location, you're driving or you're going to a new location, so you're not stuck with your last placement. Is now something new. I have a PGCE student who's at that same school with you, so you get to feed off each other, throw back, become the best of friends on your placement. So if anything does go wrong or you need extra help, you have someone there who's at your school. I didn't have that on my second placement. As I said, I had it on my first one and we drove together basically, and it was amazing. If your last placement wasn't going so well, as I said earlier, this is your time to change it up, and you might get a job interview at that school. You might love that school so much that you want to apply there. You enjoyed your first placement so much, I can't wait to get back to it. Going to a different place that might frazzle you a little bit. You're like, oh goodness me. Now there's more pressure on you now, because you now know that this is the time where it really counts. You've had your little beginning stages to dip your water into the teaching and done all that. You ain't got time for that now. Now it's proper grading. Your grading is very similar to the grading you will get for your third placement. The difference is somewhere else now. If you've had someone on your PGC course go to the same school in your first placement, now you're moving away from them. Now it's Now you've gone away from them, a different location, different direction. So I went to Ramsgate. Did I go to Ramsgate? I don't know where I went, actually, now. I think I went to Ramsgate. Let's say, in my first place, I went one direction. In my next place, and I went to Gillingham. Way down in the other direction. No, I went to Ashford for my first placement, which is all the way down here. And I went to Gillingham, which is all the way down, going there to London area. So I had stark contrast placements. University sent an email and Excel, and then they list everyone with their years, and I saw year 5. I was like, I have been in year 5 when I was a T, and I loved it. I never taught it. Oh my goodness me, what am I going to teach? Oh my goodness me, I don't think I have enough subject knowledge. How am I going to pass this? Oh no, it actually counts this time. Oh no. Got in there and I loved it. I loved year 5. I loved the subjects they did. I love that then it's not the pressure of year 6 SATs, and it's not the pressure of the soon to be year 4 multiplication tests, but it's still very important. So you don't get that pressure that you get on both sides. Year 1, you get pressure because it's phonics screeners. Year 2, the pressure because it's year 2 SATs. Year 4 is multiplication ones that are coming up soon, the test, and year 6 is SATs. So you get that year 3 and year 5 where it's not the pressure of testing like that, but it's lovely. I love that they were book smart. They already knew. They were up on you. You make a mistake, they're like, nope. You know, if the marking, if they already knew they got a question right and you didn't mark it correctly, they're telling you, look at this. And I had a child like that. It was funny. I marked it wrong and she was like, excuse me, that was actually right. And I was like, oh, well, I was just tired. It's fun. I loved planning year 5 topics. I love the school, I love the area, and I did pass. I think I got grade 2. I loved year 5. And what you need to expect, because my camera's going to die and I might just go to my phone camera, is that it's going to be new. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be difficult because you got used to one, now you've got to get used to something different. It's very quick. It goes like this. It's like bam, bam. In that time I had half term as well. It just goes really quickly. During that time, I don't know if anyone was, in London or around, England. It was the time when it was snowing and the snow turned to ice. I couldn't go anywhere for like the week. So I had 1 week off school. So rather than 5 weeks, I actually had 4. Because I couldn't go nowhere. The ice was just everywhere and I wasn't going to drive on the motorway. Did everyone have that problem where you literally couldn't go to school and schools were closing down because it was literally ice and no one could get to school? Yeah, the school I went to, it was the only school that was open in Kent, but they told me not to come in. You're going to enjoy it, you're going to love it. I'm hoping you do love it. It's something new, something different. Be refreshed, refresh your mind. Now is time for you to prove yourself now. If you didn't get to prove yourself enough in your first placement, now is your time to do it. Now is your time to shine. Now is your time to explore something different. So enjoy it, it's gonna be fun. Do let me know how it goes in the comments below. But thank you for watching. Please subscribe up here and watch my 2 previous videos down here. And I really do hope you have a great day, and I'm going to have a great day myself. Until then, bye.